$69,000.
I don't actually have that much fabric to make like a full jacket. I don't really have room to make any mistakes, but I can't really figure out right now which way it's supposed to go and if I did it right. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am making a fur coat kind of inspired by this one. I don't remember where I found it. I was just looking for inspiration because I got this fabric at a discount fabric store and had no idea what to do with it because I didn't have that much of it, but I really like how the coat turned out. I'm actually kind of surprised. So I hope that y'all like it too. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe, follow me on my social medias, and let's get into it. Okay, I'm looking at inspiration for my next video. I will probably be doing a faux fur coat because I got some fur from one of the discount fabric places that I shop at.
Right now I'm just looking for inspiration. I'm on Neiman Marcus. This is the one that I like the most so far. 1700, not that bad, but this is $69,000. They literally have it for 75% off, or this one that I was looking at, $35,000. I was like, wow, some of these prices are insane. So yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's probably to be expected because I'm assuming this is real fur, like how one of them is chinchilla fur, but $69,000 for a jacket. Obviously, I'm not the target demographic, but that's just I cannot fathom spending that much money on one piece of clothing. Okay, in this week's video, I am making this fur jacket, fur coat. I think I already introed that. Well, kind of. I was talking about how the fur coats I was looking at for inspiration were really expensive, which I guess makes sense with real fur and stuff, but still it was kind of crazy to me. Anyways, this is what I'm making this week with some faux fur that I got from one of my discount fabric stores that I go to. I don't know if it really qualifies as a coat because it is not long sleeve or long, and I kind of chose that one because one, that was the only fur coat I liked, and two, I don't actually have that much fabric to make a full jacket, so I thought that this would be perfect. So for the pattern, what I'm gonna get ready and do is trace a shirt that I have, and I don't know if I showed it in my last video, but I added seam allowance by using a bobbin and tracing around the pattern like that because I saw that on TikTok. So what I'll do is after I trace the shirt, I will do that with a bobbin a few times because I want it to be fitted, and then I will go from there.
Es el ruso en los platos.
Okay, this is the fabric I'm going to use. This is the faux fur that I have, and I just put the pattern pieces on it, and I think I'll have like literally just enough. So what I'm gonna do, I don't usually do this, I'm going to make I'm sorry, I was just coughing. I'm gonna make a prototype out of some other fabric that I have. Actually, the one that I made my skirt pattern, like my basic skirt pattern with a while ago, because I'm pretty sure I have a lot of that left. So I'm gonna make a prototype and see how it looks, and if I like how everything looks, and then go from there, because I don't really have room to make any mistakes. So yeah, I want to be sure that I like what I'm doing before I decide to cut these pieces out of this. Okay, I'm looking in the mirror because I'm not looking at the camera. I made the prototype, so there are a few changes I'm for sure gonna make. So for the sleeves, they're long. I'm probably gonna take off about 5 inches because I want them to come to about my elbow, so I'm gonna mark that and cut these off and then mark that on the pattern. I had to cut off about 5 inches total for the collar to fit because it was too long, so I will also make that change. I think I'm gonna have the front of the jacket pieces come up a little bit, like not swoop down as much, because I feel like the collar is a little droopy. Also, when I made it, the front pieces were longer than the back, and since I'm doing the lining and stuff, I'm gonna even that out. And then I don't know if I said it before I made the pattern, but when I drafted the pattern for the front pieces, I made one piece longer than the other. So I think what I'm gonna do is make them be the same size, because obviously, as you can tell, this is already oversized as is, but I think if I take it in, it'll still be oversized, but not as oversized. So yeah, and then I think the sleeves with the pattern, the reason why they can be shorter is because the shoulder is like hitting here, so the sleeves are slouchier than I thought. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make those changes to the pattern, and then I'm going to cut out my actual pattern pieces. I'll probably cut out the lining pieces first before I cut out the fur. Yeah. So, and then also when I finish it, I'm probably gonna add snaps. So I'm probably gonna finish this one, like hem everything, not right now, and add the snaps so it could also be something I could wear. But when I finish the actual one, I'm gonna use snaps to close it, because I did not want to try to do buttonholes with fur fabric.
Es el ruso en los platos.
Okay, I made the modifications to the pattern. As you can probably see, the sleeve is shorter, I added the neckline, all of that stuff. So now I'm going to cut the lining fabric out, which I have over my shoulder right here, and then I'll cut the fur out. And for the fur, I think I'm gonna try cutting it with an X-Acto knife, so I don't actually cut the fur itself, but just the backing. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, the first thing I've done with the fur is I marked an arrow to mark the direction that the fur is going, so it's pointing down. So now I'm going to trace all of the pattern pieces on there before I cut it out. Okay, I traced all the pieces out with chalk, and I have a little bit extra, thankfully. Not enough if like I mess up, but now I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to try to cut it out. And if I can't go through it with an X-Acto knife, I'm just going to go through it with a small scissor that I have and make small cuts to try not to cut the fur.
Es el ruso en los platos.
Okay, I have all of the pieces cut out. Also, it was a bit of a challenge to cut out the fur, so I don't know if you can really tell from the clip, but I kind of used like an up and down motion with the X-Acto knife while like making sure I had tension. So that was the best way I found to cut it out. But I have the lining, this is the collar with the fur piece. As you can see, the cats are into it. So I'm going to get ready and sew, and I used the clips so it wouldn't like get in the way of the fur rather than using pins. And then I'm also going to sew in the direction of the fur, so I'll do like a seam here, a seam there, and then just across. I'm hoping that if I do it that way, then like fur won't get moved as much when I'm doing it, and it won't like mess it up or anything. Okay, so I sewed the collar together. It's flipped how I sewed it, and I'm gonna sew a zigzag stitch to finish the seams, but I can't really figure out right now which way it's supposed to go and if I did it right, so I'm gonna wait to do that. So I'm gonna get ready and sew the sleeves and then the like body piece. So for the sleeve, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew the lining together and then sew the fur together, and then I will put the sleeves right, like these pieces right sides together and sew at the wrist, and then leave the top open so I can flip it inside out, and then that's when I'll connect it to the like front part.
Okay, so for the tip of the sleeve, I tried to tuck the fur under. I'm gonna have to tuck it under as I sew. So yeah, I tried to tuck it under and pin, and now I'm going to stitch, and I'm probably gonna stitch along the inside so I can make sure that I'm getting it.
Okay, I don't know if I already showed this, but after I sewed it, I just trimmed down the fur on those ends, so when I flip it inside out, it's not as bulky. Also, when I was tucking the fur under for the bottom to try to preserve some of it, it was like, I don't know, if you've ever worn a bonnet, you've wrapped your hair, but you've wrapped your hair poorly and you're trying to like shove all the stuff that's falling out under the bonnet, it felt like that. It was kind of hard. Okay, so I connected all the lining pieces, so I'm going to get ready and sew the sides. I'm going to sew the sides first so I can make sure that they are lined up how I wanted, and then also the shoulder seams for the front pieces. I'm really hoping that connecting the lining was the hardest part because it was a little bit of a challenge. It just was kind of a lot, like working with the fur and the lining. So yeah, I'm hoping that the hard part is now behind us and that the rest of this won't take much time. Okay, I sewed the fronts together, so now I have pinned the sleeve and I'm going to get ready and sew that. Okay, I sewed the sleeves, so the last thing I'm doing is sewing the collar, and you can't really tell, like you see the fur sticking out, but that is the back. So I have the lining facing the fur, so when it like puffs up, you'll see the fur with the collar instead of the lining. So yeah, and then after that I'm going to add snaps. Okay, so for the snaps, I was gonna do these silver ones, but as you can tell with the test, thank goodness I did the tester, it's not really going in, and I think that's because so two things, I use a mallet and I do it on my mat, and I don't think that that's like strong enough to do what I need. Like I don't think it's strong enough to push those little pieces in all the way, so instead, what I'm gonna use for now are these black snaps. And you can just sew them down, so I'm just gonna stitch them on the sides of the jacket and I will be done. Thanks for watching. I really hope you liked the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on my social medias. I really liked how this turned out. I will say it was a little challenging working with the fur. Well, it's faux fur, but it was a little challenging working with it, but it was very rewarding, and I would definitely work with faux fur again if I was able to find some at a reasonable price since I did get this discounted. But yeah, this was a fun project, and I learned a lot and I really like it. So I hope that y'all did too, and I will see y'all next time. Bye guys.